Japan's willingness to host the Typhon system illustrates its shifting defense posture in the face of regional threats. For Tokyo, the rationale is straightforward. North Korea's persistent missile launches, China's expanding naval presence in the East China Sea, and uncertainty surrounding future US commitments all demand stronger deterrence. The Typhon system, capable of countering a range of airborne and ballistic threats, is intended to close existing gaps in Japan's defense umbrella. Washington, for its part, has long pressed allies to shoulder more of the security burden while integrating seamlessly into US-led defense networks. By deploying Typhon in Japan, the US not only reassures Tokyo, but also signals to Beijing that American military resolve in the Indo-Pacific is deepening. Beijing's opposition stems from both practical and symbolic grounds. On the practical side, Chinese defense analysts argue that the Typhon system's range could be directed toward Chinese territory, potentially neutralizing parts of Beijing's strategic deterrence. Symbolically, it represents yet another layer of US encroachment into what China considers its near abroad. Lin Jian's statements repeatedly emphasized this theme of sovereignty and security. By characterizing the system as a substantive threat to regional strategic security, he underscored the seriousness with which Beijing interprets even defensive deployments when led by Washington. The deployment is unlikely to remain a purely bilateral issue between Japan and China. Other countries in Southeast Asia and the Pacific are watching closely, aware that their own security postures may eventually be shaped by similar deployments or by the reactions they provoke. For instance, nations like South Korea and the Philippines could become future candidates for similar US systems, potentially intensifying regional divides. Beijing's repeated reference to regional voices suggests it will seek to mobilize ASEAN and other multilateral forums to criticize Washington's military footprint. Whether those efforts gain traction remains uncertain, as some states welcome US presence as a counterbalance to Chinese power. This is not the first time Beijing has objected to US missile deployments. Nearly a decade ago, the installation of the THAAD missile defense system in South Korea triggered a sharp backlash from China, including economic retaliation. That episode left a lasting imprint on regional relations, with many policymakers wary of similar repercussions. The Typhon issue could follow a comparable trajectory, testing the resilience of Japan's economy and its diplomatic bandwidth in managing fallout with its largest trading partner.